welcome to Dark Fae Tarot. You're joining me on a warm but cloudy day in Brussels. Welcome to new subscribers and welcome back to those who already know me. So indeed, we are reviewing the Crow Tarot created by MjCullinane. Now, this is a deck that I've had for quite a few years on my shelf, 3 years, and seems like dog years actually in tarot terms, but this deck I've had since it was released. It was quite new when I was coming back to Tarot and Oracle decks, and I absolutely loved the colors, and I picked it up, and I just really didn't know much about the deck when I bought it. I then learned that it had been an indie deck that US Games had picked up, and as I understand or recall, this is the only US Games deck with MjCullinane. So, and I believe this was her first deck, if I understand correctly. So yes, this is a tarot deck. It comes with 78 cards. And first of all, I just want to say it is one of my favorite decks. I've used it extensively over 3 years, but I've never done a review. So I was going to use a deck for a few weeks leading up to this Sunday. And I didn't want to go and buy another mass market deck, to be quite honest. And I just thought, I've never done a review of the Crow Tarot, so let's just do it. And it was wonderful using it again in the last few weeks, and I just had to show it to you all. So these are the backs. The backs for the indie version are a little bit different. And of course, let's go into the cards straight away because they are absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is a collage style deck as I understand. The US Games version does come with these borders. And also there is now a pocket version available, which I don't have. I do want to get that deck. And yes, so it does come with these borders, which I've kept. I actually quite like the borders in this deck. I think it makes the deck, makes the cards, it kind of like holds the art well. That's what I think. And I love this kind of like parchment style feel as well. The fact that the cards have this very rustic feel to them. So the art here is this collage style art, and I personally really enjoyed it. I've never had, when I came back to Tarot Oracle decks, I'd only had 5 cards for 5 years, or 7 years at the time. So when I did come back to them, I was quite shocked at seeing cards like this, decks like this. It was just a wonder and a joy, and I absolutely loved the art. I just really like that it's the symbology of the Rider-Waite-Smith, but now a little bit different. I love the mirroring effect that I see quite often. And I also really enjoy the fact that this is, of course, based on the Crow and Ravens. So it was a deck from the beginning that I was drawn to for its imagery and also the main protagonist, if I might say, which is the Crow. And yes, so yeah, it was something that really called to me. As I've said in many of my videos, I am a runner. I run in the local city woods. They are city woods actually, and technically. And this deck just really, again, spoke to my heart because at the time when I bought it, we had, it was 2020. So we were in the middle of those lockdowns, and I bought it, and a few weeks later, we went into this huge lockdown that lasted about 7 months. It was really, really long. And this deck was just really comforting at that time. It was very solid. The readings are just very clear for me, and most of all, I love the imagery. It goes back to that. I feel very much accompanied. They say it's, you know, it's like the witch's familiar, if they want to say a familiar. It's that energy where I feel that there's a companionship. And so yeah, I really, really like this deck for that specific reason. And it's just giving me a joy to work with. Now, it does come with a little white book, which we're going to look at in the moment. It is quite small. But if you're new to Tarot and Oracle decks and you're expanding your understanding of the Rider-Waite-Smith system, you know the traditional, now you want to expand to other decks, this would be a great deck to expand from the traditional RWS imagery, because now it challenges a little bit further. And the other thing I really like about this deck is that it is very pagan in the sense of we have these seasonal energies. I really like the fact that sometimes I see a lot of winter in here. I see sometimes in decks there's a lot of summery looks and that green spring summer energy, which I love. But in this one, I see a lot of winter energy as well, like here the ice. And it's wonderful seeing that in a deck. So in terms of being something that if you follow a Wiccan or a pagan path, this could be a deck for you. Of course, it heralds back to working with the Morrigan. So a very interesting energy here as well. Growing up, I was very, how can I put it, naive to the names of the energies in the woods, but I did grow up in a part of the world where there is a lot of woodland, and so I was accustomed to it. It was less kind of like the way today people speak about the paganism in such a commercial way. It was less like that. It was more subtle, but definitely very present in the English countryside. And I still like decks which are very subtle in that energy of the woodlands, but it's certainly there. And yes, I also find in this deck that the bird feels a bit like the crows and the ravens are a little bit challenging me, sometimes questioning, sometimes they are very clear. There is a strength in them which I see, and it's almost as if they are, they own the deck. They are very clear on what they want me to do. I love this Queen of Swords. So yes, very good in terms of directionality, however you want to say it, and a joy to work with. So saying that, and also just one other thing before I forget, is that I do know, of course, now there have been many other decks by MjCullinane, including the Grimolkan, the Wise Dog Tarot, the Four-Axa, of course. Now more and more are coming through, which is wonderful. Guardians of the Night as well. One thing I want to say is, for me, the Crow Tarot is very, very distinct in its lightness of color. So that does go a bit back to that wintry energy. But since then, I've been thinking about it, that this time when I used it, now comparing it to other decks that MjCullinane has, this one has a lighter feel in terms of the colors. They're a lot more subdued, and the energy is very different from the Four-Axa. So if you are someone who has now the Four-Axa first, or Guardians of the Night, I do believe these are very different energies. So yes, and I absolutely love that. He looks like he's dead. He's not, but he does look like he's dead. So yes, it's quite an interesting deck in that sense. It's one of those ones where one really needs to sit inside. I love that victory card, victorious. It's the one where when you work with it card by card every day, when anyone does, we start to pick up little things in the card, and they are very, very interesting to take apart. So this would be also a great study deck if you're thinking of really studying the iconography in the deck and the cards. So from here, let's look at pairings. So I was classically going to pair this with the Urban Crow Oracle, but of course, and I did do that. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see that I paired it with the Urban Crow Oracle. And one of the reasons was that I have not used this deck enough this year, so I wanted to get it out. Now, I think that the Urban Crow Oracle is one of the best oracles out there, hands down, which is like, wow, why would you say something like that? And that's because I'm someone that can be very, very picky about my oracles. I love them, but sometimes I feel as if they can become a little bit nice washed, a bit too much. And it's all very, very positive. Now, I'm someone that does need positive energy, but I like it when an oracle deck is sometimes very much a reminder of what it is to be an oracle, where there may be warnings, there may be messages that I don't always want to hear. There may be whispers of confusion, whispers of challenges, whispers then of clarity. So it's kind of like, it's not a ready-made cooked message that's kind of like, I've tied a bow to it and it's all very nice. It's kind of like, here I've got King of Swords, which of course, is the ultimate authority when it comes to ensuring that our mental energies are clear. We have direction, we know which way we're going. The King of Swords has to make way and ensure that there is a path for those that walk within his territory. And here I have survival. I mean, it's just these are cards which are not going to leave us feeling as if everything is nice and sweet. Or here we have the Three of Cups, which is joy, and here I've got play. So these two decks work so beautifully well together. I did not make this up. I mean, and here I've got 8 of Swords and here communication. So here we have this feeling of tied and blinded and this victimhood and inability to get out and feeling as if, you know, my wings have been clipped. And here comes communication. It's almost a very strong message of, well, if you want to get out of there, then maybe it's time to start talking. Maybe it's time to open up. And so, yeah, it's just, they're beautiful synergies between each other. And here I've got Warning and here I've got 10 of Swords. So, okay, I'm going to stop there with these two pairings, but you can see how beautifully they work well together. And that also, for me, is a sign of a really good deck creator, to be quite honest, when they have decks with cohesion. And I might sound a little bit strange when I say this, but I believe it's like a fashion principle where when people create fashion lines, there's a cohesion in a specific set when they create it for a season. And I believe that MjCullinane, has that ability to be very cohesive. The collaborative, the decks are collaborative. Here I've got the Hangman, a Surrender, and here I've got Territory. So anyway, there is just so much to unpack with just one card from each of these decks. So with that, I'm going to put this one to the side and let's take another pairing. Now, this pairing was a little bit unusual, but I wanted to use this deck. I just wanted to get a feel for it. It's a new deck to my collection, and that's the Soul Helper Oracle by Christine Arana Fader, illustrated by Elena Dudina. Okay, so as I recall, and the Inner Traditions is the publisher. As I recall, this deck was originally in German and it has been translated and is available on Amazon. Everything I'm showing you, by the way, today is available on Mass Market. So these are the backs, which I think are stunning. And this is not a deck that I would usually, I don't know, I would have it actually. Like it's very reminiscent a little bit of Colette Baron-Reid decks. But I wanted to try it because it's a new author and I wanted to try their writing and how they are providing messages. So I was pleasantly surprised at how beautiful these cards are and how well they work together. So here I have 9 of Pentacles and here I have Nature is Calling You. So it's just, you know, here she's protected in this beautiful lair kind of thing. And here we have, you know, enjoying our riches. So it's interesting. I think that they did work well together. Here, a difficult path is being revealed. And here we have 5 of Pentacles. And obviously they're stuck. These birds are stuck. I mean, the waters are high. And here it says a path is being revealed. So you can see here that also messages work. Knight of Cups and a message is trying to reach you again. Be vigilant. The spirit world wishes to find and touch you. So this is a deck from what I would consider, you know, being from an oracle deck originally from Germany. I think it's interesting to see how this has developed in this terms of the deck. And it works, I think, personally, very, very well with the Crow Tarot. So different imagery, but there is some kind of feeling of harmony when it comes to the messages. And here there's a 5 of Cups, and here it says, re-energize in the natural world, let your inner hunter or huntress take rest. So again, you know, just the beauty of them coming together. And here it is Ace of Cups, and here it says, it's time for a change. Do not wait or put off decisions any longer. So yeah, and I'll stop here with Justice, and it says Flames of Desire. So again, yes, it's an interesting deck, and I really enjoyed working with Christine Arana Fader's work. And I also have another one of her decks as well, which I will be working with probably in next year at some point. So yes, that was the Soul Helper Oracle. And then the final deck that I would like to show you that I paired with the Crow Tarot, and you've all seen this on my Insta, if you follow me on Insta, is Seasons of the Witch, the Mabon Oracle. And I just had to, because this is still, well, it was new to my collection, but I just had to work with this deck. I find the colors in this deck are just gorgeous. Now, I really believe that this Oracle deck, which is, of course, sorry, before I forget, publisher is Rockpool, creators Lauren Anderson, Juliet Diaz, illustrations by Tiana Lukovic, if I pronounce that correct. I just want to say straight off the bat, the colors in this deck would also perfectly go well, I think, with the Four-Axa, with the Grimolkan, and with other MjCullinane decks too. I have absolutely fallen in love with this oracle. It will become one of my favorite oracles. Again, a bit similar to the Urban Crow style. It will become one of my favorite oracles. And I think there's a personal bond with this specific oracle, which is why I'm saying it. But I also think it pairs beautifully with this. Here's death, and here says maple tree. There is a change coming that is so big it will shift all that exists. I mean, how powerful to put these two next to each other. How powerful. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed working with the Mabon Oracle. I've already done a walkthrough and a pairing of this because of when I first got it. But if you want me to do a review and also working with it in different styles, let me know, because I could do that. I know a lot of people have done already the Mabon Oracle in review, but I have some thoughts I could add to it. Maybe it might be of interest to others. I'm hesitant because I think people might go, oh God, not another review of that deck. But I just think it's such a great deck that for the price point, for it being mass market, for the illustrations that you receive and the guidebook, it is like a knockout deck. So I would love to do a review on this if there's of interest, of course. So here's the 10 of Pentacles, and here's Apothecary Cabinet. Without practice, without befriending them, they are strangers in your path. So it's so interesting, right, how it's encouraging me to use all of these tools. And here I have this beautiful card of ancestry and generations and the tree of life and family and a safe abode. It's just beautiful how they look and they work together. Here, of course, we have the Nine of Swords, and here I have that the things that haunt you are the things you have yet to let go of. I mean, how synchronistic are these messages? Is absolutely, it's so powerful. Queen of Pentacles, of course, she is such a beautiful queen. Of course, you've all heard me talk about the Queen of Pentacles before. She's a representation for me of my mother. And here I have Mountain Cabin, and there are times when solitude can be healing and enlightening. And if I saw this message today, I would immediately think, probably some of the things that my mother has taught me. He's telling me to sit with him alone and to see how I need to perhaps integrate something into my life that I'm not doing. You know, that's how I take that. Here's Temperance, balancing, and here's Peppers. Oh, hot and chilly. Be fierce about the ways in which you protect yourself. Allies await. Wow, what beautiful pairings and ways we can work with these symbols, right? And here, look at that beautiful set of butterflies as wall art. So again, so much to unpack with these two. Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings when it comes to our material side. And here it's fire side, dwell in the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. So I almost feel like this is telling me how much I have everything that I need, and I have that kick of energy. And here I have, of course, new beginnings when it comes to our material wealth. And finally, here I have Queen of Cups, which is all, of course, about healing and going inside and learning how to cope with our emotions on the internal, and then of course exuding that energy outwards slowly. Of course, a very Cancerian card, home and roots and the beauty of that oceanic water. And here I've got St. John's wort and marigold, and here it is, you know, and St. John's wort, the first thing I think is healing, I think protection, and it says, against your will there will not be no entrance, no welcoming, be gone. So yes, I just think that they go so well together. And of course, Three of Swords, and here's Reaper. For the birth of something new to manifest, the death of something holding you back is inevitable. That is really powerful. I mean, okay, one more and then we'll finish. But that was so powerful. I mean, okay. And finally, Two of Pentacles and juggling. And here it's kitchen witchery. Abundance flows easily and effortlessly into your life. Be in gratitude. Wow. So again, you know, manifestations are happening. I've got the infinity symbol here, and here it's talking about enjoying my space, enjoying my kitchen, enjoying making things, and all that magic that happens within our hearth and home, right, at this time of year. So yes, that is it. I'm going to stop soon, so because I'm just going on and on. I'm twittering on and on, but you can hear how enthusiastic I am about the decks that I used. And the beauty of what I've just shown you here, hopefully I really can speak to this, is that these are all mass market decks. Today, hopefully, I don't know where you're living. I don't know, of course, the price points where you might be, but I could easily purchase all of this for approximately, you know, all of these decks would come in around 70, 80 euros maximum. That's about the same in US dollars right now, 80 US dollars. And I just really openly want to say that I love the indie decks that I've been able to buy. I'm always somebody that feels that gratitude should be an important part of my practice. So I try to practice gratitude for all the things that I have, including my decks. But I also want to say, that I appreciate that today's price points, tarot needs to be accessible. I really believe that it's not as if it's for some only. And I feel as if today I was able to show some decks which are beautiful, and honestly these are just as good as indie decks, as mass market decks, and you get all of this for that price point. So hopefully I've conveyed that well, but I just think it's important because I myself have been there where €100 deck, and when I think about €100 in a deck, I'm like, what? And I appreciate because of the fact that today we are seeing so much, it's getting so expensive for transport as well as, and artists need to, so this is not about arguing about the price points. I'm just trying to say that I try to see things from a balanced perspective of the artist, the consumer, the production, and everything else that goes on in between. And I wanted to be able to share today, and I'm really glad I could, this variety that can be perhaps a bit more accessible to everyone. So I'm going to stop there here on this Six of Pentacles. What a beautiful, or maybe one more. I can't help it. Oh, the Fool. Yeah, let's stop with the Fool here. I keep going because I just love these cards so much. But yes, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and before I forget, so we're at 21 minutes. Let me do quickly a reading. So let's take this one because I want to show a minor. I always like to show a minor. So let's take the Seven of Pentacles and we will do a reading on the Seven of Pentacles. And then there we go. So what do you get for the Seven of Pentacles? And here we go. Have I found it? Oh, there we are. So it is quite short. This is the length of the reading. And so let me just do this so you can see both as I read it out. It says, the crow rests after embarking on the difficult task of gathering a treasure trove of bright reflective coins that will adorn her nest and make a protective space for her fledglings. The Seven of Pentacles asks that you think about the long term when investing your time and energy. Although quick short-term gains may be had, in the end they will not last. Only through hard work and planning will you discover lasting benefits from your work. When the Seven of Pentacles appears reversed, it may be a sign that despite the amount of hard work and energy you're putting into a project, the result may not be what you expected. This is a time to trust your intuition and cut your losses if you're not satisfied with the rate of return your investment has yielded. So yeah, what a great, small, succinct reading. If you, of course, need more, then I would advise getting an actual tarot reference book. But in terms of just a simple reading, I think that's interesting. Very, very good. So there you go. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching me pair this beautiful deck by MjCullinane, which I really, really enjoyed working with on and off for 3 years now. It was high time I did a review, and here it is. And please tune back, and maybe I will do a Mabon Oracle review because I've really gotten so much out of that deck. I also want to shine the light on it and spotlight it again. So let me know if you're interested in that. And thank you for joining me today. Take care wherever you are.